Good morning. I am Dr. Allam Balram, Associate Professor of CSC, Vignan Institute of Technology and Science. Here I am going to explain about the subject web technologies for the academic year 2020 and 21 for third year BTech CSC. So as a part of these web technologies, I am going to explain the concept of servlet. So here before going to know about servlet, what actually web technologies? The technologies which are used to develop web applications. So here web application means online applications. So here the web application consists of components like web client, web server and database server. So in order to develop web applications, servlet plays a very important role here. So the technologies which are used to develop web applications like technologies like HTML, PHP, which are meant for front-end application, and servlets, JSP, EJPs are like for web server applications, and database applications like JDBC. So which supports from Java. So before that, what are the contents I am going to cover in this lecture? Evaluation of dynamic content technologies. What is servlet? Servlet API, skeleton structure of servlet, life cycle of servlet, steps to develop servlet application, and how to run servlet application. So the dynamic content technologies here, actually before servlet many dynamic content technologies are there. What is dynamic content? Actually dynamic content means whenever client send a request to the web server, based on the client web server taking the help of some technology to prepare dynamic web page and hand over to the web client. So here the different technologies are there. Those are common gateway interface like CGI and ColdFusion, active server pages, server side JavaScript, PHP, Java servlet, Java server pages, JSPs. Servlet and JSPs are introduced by some microsystem supports. And next CGI. So I want to differentiate what actually difference between CGI technology and servlet technology. Here, while coming to CGI life cycle, a main process, CGI main process, web server process, whenever the client send a request, CGI client send a request to the main process, and main process create a sub-process in order to handle the client request. And whenever next client, CGI client send the request to the main process, once again main process create one more sub-process in order to handle the client request. So let's say here CGI1, client server 1 initially send a request and main process create a child process or sub-process to the main process. And next client CGI2 here and it creates a child process for that corresponding client. So like that, n number of client requests comes to the server. So n number of child process will be created, so that the burden will be increases. In order to reduce this, servlet supports instead of creating child process, servlets creates threads, and also it can handle multi-threading programming as well as multitask programming. So that servlets are excellent in web server applications in order to control the application. Next, what is servlet? Servlet actually is a technology. It is introduced by Sun Microsystem, and servlet is a specification, nothing but it's set of rules to implement servlet applications. These set of rules are available as packages, nothing but application programming interface APIs by the Sun Microsystem. And also servlet is a Java program which is container managed public Java class. Container managed public Java class means container only creates the servlet instance, container only calls the servlet. So that is the meaning. And also servlet which is enhancement, the functionality of the web server. So these are the major like definitions or uses of servlet. And coming to servlet API, nothing but application programming interface, nothing but in order to write the program, what are the supports required, those things can be available as two packages by the Servlet technology. The two packages are Servlet package, Java X dot Servlet.std package. These two packages as specifications available as API. And also I will coming to how to write what is Servlet. Actually here Servlet is a interface as Java X dot Servlet dot. Here Java X is a root directory and Servlet is a subdirectory of Java X directory, and Servlet is an interface under the subdirectory of Servlet. And also Servlet's generic Servlet, which is implementation class implemented by the Sun Microsystem for the Servlet interface. So as Java X dot Servlet dot generic Servlet. Here generic Servlet is a class which implements Servlet interface. And while writing the program of Servlet, our Servlet class either may be extend generic Servlet or else maybe implements Servlet interface. So while writing the Servlet classes as a programmer, while writing Servlet classes, we may extend generic Servlet or else we may implement Servlet interface. Next, what is the structure of Servlet? So the skeletal structure of Servlet is first we should import Java X dot Servlet package, which is available as jar file in our like Tomcat server, and then our class. So every class, every Servlet class, what we are going to write the program, our definitely public class, because Servlet engine calls the Servlet class, not by the programmer. So the public class, our Servlet. Here I have written the code which is extends generic Servlet. So generic Servlet is the implementation class for the Servlet interface, and also Servlet having lifecycle methods. Those lifecycle methods are init. So init method is actually which is used to resource allocation, nothing but DB connections. So init method are used for resource allocation purpose, and also before going to call the init method, Servlet engine create Servlet config object. So Servlet config object which is holds the resource allocation. And also next method is in the lifecycle method public void service method. Service method having two arguments. Those are Servlet request and Servlet response. Servlet request actually it is an interface which is used to hold the requested values. Requested values comes from the web client. And also Servlet response is also an interface which is used to give a response to the web client. And also here in this phase, in service phase, there are actually it can be done IPO, taking the input from the web client, process the input and give the output. Like IPO can be done here service phase. Next method is public void destroy method. Destroy method is actually used for resource releasing this resource releasing code goes here, like database connection releases can be done in destroy method. So that this is the totally skeletal structure of Servlet. So here whenever program write a Servlet class, that should be consist of three methods. Those methods are init, service and destroy. Init method is used for resource allocation, and service method is used for IPO, input, process and output, and destroy method is used for resource reallocation. Next, where so this actually Servlet where actually it is whenever web client. So this architecture explains about what is the process of execution of Servlet. So here client, web client and server, this is nothing but web server, and Servlet container or Servlet engine. So here Servlet web client making use of HTTP protocol is send a request to the web server in order to get the output. So whenever web server receives the request from the web client, if corresponding servlet is loaded, meaning the corresponding servlet is available in the Servlet container, that is the meaning of each servlet is loaded. If it is no, invoke by using invoke method, it runs corresponding servlet, and loading the servlet and prepare based on the client request and dynamic page and response gives to the servlet engine web server, and web server can hand out the response to the client. So this is the meaning. So here we need to remember client means HTTP client or web client, and this is also browser software. Client means actually this is a browser software, this is web server, this is servlet engine. So this is total architecture, or whenever HTTP client send a request to the server, corresponding servlet will be executed and response given to the client. So what is the life cycle of servlet? So life cycle of the servlet can be described by using 3 life cycle methods, what actually we have written earlier, and also can be described by using 4 life cycle phases. Here 3 life cycle methods are init method and service method, destroy method, and also life cycle phase or instantiation phase, initialization phase, serving phase, destruction phase. So whenever client send a request, nothing but HTTP client send a request to the corresponding servlet, nothing meaning of the send a request on corresponding servlet means first initially the client request received by the web server identified the corresponding identified and hand out whether it is for servlet or JSP or EJB identified. If it is for servlet, so it request hand out to the servlet engine. Servlet engine identified corresponding servlet, and then servlet engine execute these three life cycle methods. These 3 life cycle methods can be described by 4 life cycle phases. The 4 life cycle phases are instantiation phase, initialization phase, serving phase, and destruction phase. So life cycle servlet I can explain by using flow chart. Here these phases are controlled by the servlet engine. Meaning of controlling means servlet engine only creates or process or destruction can be happened by the servlet engine. That is the meaning. So initially whenever client send a request, web client send a request, servlet engine loads servlet class. What we have written our servlet class, right? Servlet class. So then after loading the servlet class, servlet engine creates servlet instance. So whenever these 2 phases are completed, total servlet object will be created. So after creating the object, servlet engine creates servlet config object. After creating servlet config object, servlet engine calls the init method by passing the servlet config object to the init method. So then after executing init method, servlet engine creates the servlet request as well as servlet response objects. As these objects pass to the servlet engine, these objects pass to the service method, and then our service method, whenever service method is executed, corresponding client will be output will be handed out to the corresponding client. So and then it is waiting for, suppose first client request, it is servlet engine creates these 4 lines like loading the instantiation phase, initialization phase, and calling the servlet config object and calling init method can be executed. So next client request, suppose next client send a request to the same servlet, then servlet engine create request and response object and passing these 2 objects to the service method by called by the servlet engine. Then that process can be executed. Then if there is no request for the servlet, just simply the servlet waits for the client request. So actually while waiting time that depends on the web server. In this case suppose if you use Apache Tomcat server, the waiting time will be 30 minutes. So what actually we discussed, these 2 phases these 2 flow charts comes under instantiation phase, and these 2 comes under initialization phase, and then this total will be comes under serving phase. So after maybe 30 minutes or maybe whenever the object is not referenced by the any object reference, then garbage collector can be collected the corresponding servlet object. Next, so how to develop servlet application? So there are steps to develop servlet application. In order to develop servlet application, the first step is creating directory structure. Creating directory structure, and directory name can be any name you can write. Under the directory name, there will be one more directory. The directory is web-inf. So web-inf here, the web and -inf all are capital letters. You should follow like this. And under the web-inf, there is a classes directory, which is small letters classes, which is used for place the Java servlet classes. And then under the web-inf, there will be a lib directory, and which is to jar file, library jar files going to be placed in lib directory. So this is the total structure for in order to develop any servlet application. That should be first thing should be directory name. Second, under the directory name, there will be a subdirectory web-inf. This should be capital letters, and also under this we should write classes and also lib. And next, step 2 is developing resources, web resources like HTML, image files, and JSPs. And step 3 is developing the deployment descriptor. The name and extension of the deployment descriptor should be web.xml file. Any servlet application, if you want to write the deployment descriptor should be web.xml file. So all letters are small letters only. Keep in mind. And step 4, configuring after developing directory structure, then web resources and web.xml files and Java classes. We should configure the application files into the corresponding directories. Like all the HTML pages, JSPs, image files are copied into the main directory. So nothing but root directory of the application. And then Java.class files. So nothing but first we should write a Java program, then we should compile by using javac.java file, and then that classes file should be copied to the classes directory. And then jar files, whatever jar files required in order to run the servlet program. Nothing but here in this case, servlet-api.jar file is required. That jar file will be placed into the lib directory. So after completion of, and also web.xml file copied into the web-inf. So after developing the resources and configuring the application file, we need to copy and paste these resources file into the what are the web server we are going to use. So first, let's say suppose Apache Tomcat server if we use. In that server we are going to place this directory. Okay. So for example, I will take an example in order to develop application. So finally directory structure for developing servlet application is like this. Directory name, HTML, images comes under the directory, JSPs comes under the directory name, and then web-inf, and then classes directory, which is subdirectory of web-inf, classes directory, which is having the classes files and web.xml file, and also lib directory, which is comes under web-inf. This is final directory structure in order to develop servlet applications. And I am going to explain by taking an example. Here, example is develop an application for adding two numbers. End user can enter two numbers. Then, upon submitting these two numbers, end user will get the addition of these two numbers. This is the application I am going to develop in this video. So for this, first step is we should create directory structure. The directory structure here, my directory name should be, I have written anyway, any name you can write. So here, because this is adding, I have written adding application directory name is, and in the web-inf is the the subdirectory, same as T is what we told earlier, and then classes sleep. So here I have written extra only directory name in this example, that is adding application. And then step 2, I need to develop web resources. Here the web resources is end user able to enter numbers, 2 numbers. Submitting upon that, he will get addition of those 2 numbers. So web page, you have to develop web pages. Here I am using HTML tags. So my file name is number.html. Number.html. So these are HTML tags. All are HTML tags. So these all everybody knows nowadays. But here the main thing we need to remember, form action. Form action. Whenever you click on end user, click on submit button, action can be performed. So web client can be perform action. Whenever action performing means submitting the request to the corresponding web server. So that by using these 2, nothing but here the tag is number 1. The input values I have given number 1 and number 2. For this I have used input tag. And also whenever the form submit button clicked by the end user, so the action can be occurred. So the action what we have written here, we should remember, that is http://localhost. Because I am using localhost, I have written localhost and :9090. This is the port number 4. Because I used Apache Tomcat server, and also I configure port number as 900. By default Apache Tomcat server is 8080. After actually the cause of changing the port number is Sun Microsystem actually taken over by the Oracle Corporation. So upon that, Oracle uses 800 port for Oracle software. So that Apache as a developer we are using Java environment as well as Apache Tomcat server environment as well as JDBC. So that we need to change the port number as any port number. I change as 9090. Adding application, this is the root directory name what we have written. And also we need to remember add. This is the URL pattern. So this is used next. I will tell you where actually this is used. This is resources development, nothing but number.html web page developer libraries. Next, so comes under resources development. We are going to write a Java file, servlet file. That is, my servlet file name is adding servlet.java. So here everybody knows file name should be class name, both should be equal. So here simply I am importing the packages, first statements. First 2